Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Dota 2 commentary brought to you by B-Ball and Shredkid. Let's get right into this. This is from the Raidcall Dota 2 League Season 3. This is the best of 3 series between EG and Dignitas. So, ready to unpause?
Yep. Let's go.
Gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. So, EG been playing a lot better recently. Dignitas, on the other hand, have been struggling for a bit. I don't know if they're experimenting, but I think they are bootcamping in Vancouver, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see if the Canadian hospitality can boost their performance. But it seems like this is an all-pick remake draft rather than just a Cabzone draft. I was not expecting this. But we are going to see some interesting heroes, namely one flying son of a bitch that does not see as much play as he did when he first came out, Skywrath.
Yeah, you just kind of sit on him mid, and he's really... I think he might be the easiest mid to gank in the entire game, including Shadow Fiend, so he just kind of dies.
Well, I
So
mean, he has decent orb range, and he has good move speed, but I guess that doesn't really matter when you're getting ganked so much.
Yeah, and it's not like
especially in the
SF
middle
where he
lane.
built the BKB. Like, if you ever get on top of him, anybody ever gets on top of him, he's just dead. So, he seems like high risk, high reward in that he deals a gazillion damage and all his spells are really, really good, but I think he might actually be the easiest hero to kill in the entire game. It might be him, so I think it's going to be him versus Puck mid.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, you should win most mid lane matchups, if not all of them. I mean, maybe not so much against OD, because nobody wins against OD, but actually can do better than most because he has the silence thing. And I guess if he has a bit of pressure, then he could potentially match up reasonably effectively against OD, although that's very, very unlikely. But do you think we'll see a lot of Skywrath in Tier 3?
I'm going to be honest, I don't think we will. I think OD kind of just replaced him, to be honest.
Yeah, Skywrath still decently common in the Southeast Dota 1 scene. I have seen him spring up in replays when I've been scouring the earth. And just to introduce the players and teams really quickly. Fear is playing the Phantom Lancer, Jeyo is playing the Skywrath, the Demon's playing the Batrider, Bambo is playing the Earthshaker, Beat is playing Keeper of the Light. Me on the side, Dignitas are going to have Way Too Sexy playing the Visage, Fogged is playing the Rubik, AUI 2000 is playing the Weaver, Universe is playing Leicester, and Snaking is playing the Puck. So, yeah, EG versus Dignitas. We just recently casted an EG series. They managed to overcome their sort of first game failures and managed to pull out in style. They're going to Raidcall EMS. I don't think they are currently in like one of the last positions in this tournament, and of course, to qualify in this tournament, you will be able to play in DreamHack Valencia. But so far, EG have been looking a bit better since the role switch.
I think they've been looking pretty okay. Sometimes Beatas seems to be a little bit lost, but for the most part, he's solid.
Yep, but it seems like Dignitas gonna run across the challenge. Dignitas, I don't know what they've been really doing that much recently. I think they've just been beaten by everybody as of late, but they're one of those teams that have these hot and cold streaks, like very few other teams. Do you think it's just like their play style, or do you think it's just, you know, their picks, or is it just the play, individual play?
I would actually have to say that it's their play style. Their really ultra greediness is going to be punished, and bot, there's going to be a really good fissure on Fog. Looks like he's dead 100%, and they're going to let PL get the last hit. So Fear's going to get a first blood. That's 100% Bambo. And when I said Beatas was a little bit lost before, I meant Bambo. But he seems to obviously know what he's doing on Earthshaker. That was a really good block.
Yeah, Earthshaker, definitely one of the longest running heroes in Dota, as I'm sure Bambo has played a multitude of times. Maybe not so much in competitive environment, but still, you can expect to perform reasonably well. Meanwhile, Demon versus AUI, I don't expect either hero to have a significant advantage. Seems like Demon is ushering AUI out of the lane for now, but AUI, once he finds two stacks upon him, he'll just be able to Shikuchi out of there. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Snaking, not being pulled anything. Jeyo was pulled a bit of regen, but seems like Jeyo is on the early retreat thus far because he doesn't have that AoE nuke. So, what do you think the lanes are going to look like?
I don't really know how this lane works. I think Puck should win on paper, but he never seems to. I haven't done the lane myself. Bot lane could go either way. Like, that's just a disaster waiting to happen for either team. Like, that lane can get so volatile so fast. And top lane's in favor of Weaver, I think, but that top lane's like a player skill lane. It can go either way.
Yep, Demon definitely one of the most notorious Batrider players in Batrider. I think EG were one of the few teams to run Batrider. Snaking gonna take a lot of damage to mid lane. Actually, just gets completely owned by Jeyo. No points in his silence, so Snaking just severely underestimated the damage output. So maybe Skywrath could potentially be a surprise pick against teams who obviously have not played against Skywrath before. I mean, we saw a brief period where Dendy ran him in the mid lane for quite a bit, and he did do a lot of work, but again, he has some problems getting ganked and all that. and I don't really feel like he scales necessarily too well with items. But yeah, Demon was one of the few players to actually run Barret before Barret got massively buffed. So I'm pretty sure he has a lot of experience with this hero, even if we have not seen it recently.
It's a very demon-esque type hero. And I think what's going on mid lane, and I've seen it twice now, is Sneaking's phase shifting when he shouldn't. He's phase shifting the slow, and then Jeyo gets 2 nukes on him, and that's where all the damage is coming from. So he's baiting out the phase shift. And I think you should hold it. I don't know. I've never done this lane because I never play against Skywrath pickers in pubs.
Yeah, I'm sure all of you guys have seen every time Skywrath's pick, you see a Pugna counter pick. And I mean, I love Pugna, so I pick him regardless if there's Skywrath or not. But Bambo gonna be able to burrow his way through the trees. But yeah, I mean, Jeyo, or Snaking, obviously not having some familiarity. The level 1 slow spell is only 50 damage. And you can see Snaking not dodging a nuke switch deals a nice chunk of damage. As me on the top lane, or bottom lane, way too sexy, taking a lot of damage. Will pop a Grave Chill, trying to escape fear. Does have enough mana to pop one more Sphere Lance, does secure the kill. Meanwhile, Universe just running in circles, simply can't do much as Bambo gonna get his mana fueled up, and this is such an annoying trial and deal with. Earthshaker Unlimited Mana is probably one of the best supports in the game, if not the best.
It's still kind of tricky because you can't zone people out. Like, you can't poke people out of lane. He kind of works differently than any other support, but the biggest issue with Earthshaker is after you run out of clarities, and if you're not at mana boots yet, you're done. It's all over, and that's going to be a block that doesn't quite block.
Well, at least this game he has Chakra Magic.
Yeah, that's my point. That's what I was working at. Because what happens is, if you max the Fissure, it ends up costing a lot more mana, and then you're kind of boned. So what a lot of people do is 1 Fissure and max Aftershock, but then you don't deal any damage, and you're a support that just kind of exists for the block. But with Chakra Magic, you can max Fissure, no problem, and you don't have to worry about running out of mana. Like, you stun once, and then you run back to base, and that's Shaker without Coddle. But with Coddle, he actually does stuff.
So, despite EG doing pretty well in the bottom trine, looks like Fear is not having too good of a time in terms of getting CS, just because there were, a lot of ranged heroes that could apply pressure depending on Meanwhile, Earthshaker can't really do much physical harassment to the likes of Rubik as well as Visage, but we are going to see a rotation by Dignitas supports. Way Too Sexy actually does secure an Invisibility Rune, and Fog gonna go to the top lane because those supports are simply not able to get enough experience, and Keeper Light, probably one of the best defensive supports in the game. I mean, this tri-lane is so defensive by nature, and EG seems to be focusing a lot more of their playstyle on sort of protecting Fear or utilizing Fear's carry potential to the maximum effect, and so far it seems to be working out pretty well thus far.
Oh man, did Dignitas just do that? They stacked the hard cam for Demon, and he's just gonna do it now. He's stacking it one more time. He's gonna get 3 jungles. This is, or like a triple hard stack. This is ridiculous. They're gonna try to go on him and stop him. Maybe they'll be able to kill him?
Well, he has already used Firefly, as Visage gonna come around AUI. Will he be able to get... No, Firefly just lasts too damn long, as Way Too Sexy, unable to drop the Soul Assumption. Probably wouldn't have been enough damage to kill Demon off regardless. And Dignitas is probably gonna spot the pull, and they're gonna have to clear up this wave very, very quickly, because Demon's going back to base, and he has no juice in his bottle, so he can't actually pick off that hard creep stat. But I don't know if Dignitas themselves can kill this off with 2 good stuff.
No, you can't. Those creeps are too strong. They're not going to be able to kill it with pulls. They have to bring that down with AoE, and they don't have any. So that's Batrider's stack. He's going to take it right now, I bet.
Well, we are going to see a rotation for Jeyo mid. Jeyo, 19 CS looks like he's playing very safe because EG, I think, had most of their wards dewarded for Batrider as Demon. He's starting out to 475 gold. I'll check on his gold after he finishes his camp, but it looks like it will be a lot. Did he actually manage? No more additional stack, even though the 6-minute mark has occurred. But he will be able to hit level 6 off the back of this, and will be able to pick up a boatload of experience. But Dignitas trying to wrap around to pick off Demon. AUI is pushing creep wave very aggressively, and Demon doesn't have Firefly, so Demon likely going to perish in the next assault. He has the access into Flaying Last, but here comes rotation. Fox does get the telekinesis off. Demon Firefly not going to cool down fast enough. Demon does end up dying. But overall,
he just got a full level and 500 gold. I don't think he really cares.
I was about to say. And Fianna Lancer is starting to regain some of his farm. And what level is Keeper? Keeper level 3, so won't be called to defend just yet on that top tower.
Yeah. And I think this is going to just translate into a farming game at this point. Puck is the only person on the map who can really make things happen, and he's going for treads, which is a delayed dagger, so he's probably going to sit and farm, it looks like. Nyx has gone to the jungle, so he's going to sit and farm. Weaver's going to farm top. Supports are going to pull. Maybe they're going to try to gank Skywrath, but I think this game's going to settle down.
Man, you make this game sound so exciting.
It's super exciting. Well, yeah,
PL versus
yeah,
PL
he's got a
versus
PL, so he's
Lifestealer, and I mean PL Coddle. I mean, at least you have a Barrow, pretty turly hero when he has carries on his team. But it seems like the top tower will be protected for now, and Fog just running around Dignitas. It seems like they've been able to recover some of the levels. Looks like the levels are pretty much even across the board. Dara actually might have... actually it's hard to say who has experience advantage. Meow Universe rotated to the jungle, has a Quelling Blade. So it's just going to leave Phantom Lancer alone. And Puck will need to get a fast dagger if they want to actually keep this Phantom Lancer down, because in the late game, Lifestealer and Weaver aren't really the carries you want to match up against PL. You don't have anything like a Gyrocopter, you don't have anything like a Luna, I suppose. I mean, these carries don't deal with PL at all.
Yeah, and even if you do have a carry who does, you still don't want to go late game against that hero because anything can happen. It's a crapshoot. So, I would say right now this is actually in Dignitas' favor, even though it seems like, oh, PL isn't getting challenged. But I think Dignitas is just waiting for about 15 minutes to get their, first tier of items up, and they're just going to start doing stuff. And Shaker doesn't really shut down aggression that well. Coddle shuts down pushes but not aggression. Like, all those heroes, they're better. It's hard to describe. But I think if Dignitas goes all out on the offensive, EG's heroes aren't that good at stopping it.
Well, I mean, Earthshaker
Mid lane,
has
by the way.
Fissure as mid lane. There will be an attempt to silence going down, snaking. He is going to be able to dodge the silence or outlast the silence. Jeyo caught in Dream Cold, bottling up all the while. Universe gonna come in with the open wounds, snaking. One hit away from perishing, but Jeyo gonna end up forfeiting his life. Thought he could have picked up the kill. Looks like he missed his Mana Storm or his Mystic Flare, and that was the main reason why Jeyo could not secure himself the kill in that engagement. Because Mystic Flare with the silence level 2 would have been able to pretty much one-shot the Puck. But I guess he missed it.
I thought you meant like kill at the very end after that happened with just the nukes.
Yeah. I think Jeyo just missed the Mana Storm or Mystic Flare, whatever the hell it's called.
Oh, Demon's gonna have dagger.
Wow, that is a big stack, and of course, well, I mean, he has a stack of golems in there, but he will be able to pull these Alpha Wolves. He has 3 points of Napalm, allowing it to clear much more quickly. He's probably going to hit level 9, as Puck gonna secure a kill on Bambo on the bottom lane. Snaking gonna potentially be in bid trouble, as Fear's gonna come in with the Spear Lines. Open wounds will be dropped on the Fear. Snaking will likely escape, gonna orb out to safety, although he's gonna be stunned for the moment. And will there be a pursuit? Snaking unable to get away from the wrath of the Spear Lines. His family picks up a very early killing spree, so feeding the PL definitely not something you want to have happen. And feeding Demon, who already is 300 gold away from his dagger, I mean, just pretty much uncontested. This is, I mean, Dignitas have a very strong mid-game lineup, but they're accelerating EG's farm by quite a bit with all these risky plays.
Oh, poor Demon. Look at that. Double golem. That's just like God slapping him in the face.
That's
just disrespectful that the jungle does that to him. But we see that Fear is going for Yasha first, which I think is a pretty decent choice. If he goes for Diffusal, it's basically him saying, I want to do shit, I want to get shit done, and I think that I'm actually going to be able to survive fights and contribute to them. If he goes for Yasha, he's going to say, I'm going to farm for 10 more minutes. And I think that's the right choice. He can win this game by farming. If he farms fast enough and enough, he can just win the game. It's over. So I think that Yasha's a really, really solid choice with respect to that.
Especially since they've gotten kills on Puck, and that means Puck will be nowhere close to picking up a dagger, and without the Puck dagger, I guess you won't really be able to initiate with Lifestealer and Fest Bombs unless Weaver comes in, and Weaver just wants to farm up. Weaver is farming very well, has the Perseverance, gonna go for the Linked Sphere, very, very standard build, definitely needs it in this game against Silence, against Lasso, against Spear Lance, against, I guess, Mana Leak. He'll definitely need it, but I don't know, it might even be a BKB game for the Weaver as well. I think AUI might have a little bit too much on his plate to handle if this game goes late enough.
Yeah, it could be very tricky. I wanted to point something out. Demon's got almost a 1k advantage on Puck. If you look at their items, Puck's got Treads and 200. Demon's almost got Blink Dagger Brown Boots. This is Batrider. He can go on the offlane. He can get, especially if he's on Radiant, because you can get access to that camp, which they stacked it for him for some reason. It's really much safer for him to be on that side. And then if it gets tricky, you just go to the jungle, and you jungle absurdly fast. Like, it's ludicrous how fast you jungle. And they stacked the hard camp for him a bunch of times. So the offlane Batrider's got about a 10, 11 minute Blink Dagger. It's pretty solid.
I think he's bounced. I mean, he definitely doesn't need a nerf. I mean, please don't nerf him! He's my favorite hero, please!
He was my favorite hero for a really long time, and then people started playing him once he got that buff. Remember when he got the turn rate buff? I think I was talking to
Yeah.
you before then. Like a couple weeks before, I was like, they shadow fixed all his problems in Dota 2. This hero's amazing again. And it might not have been you. It might have been someone else. And they're like, no, bullshit, man. He's still horrible. And I'm like, no, he's amazing. Trust me. And then he got the turn rate buff and everybody's first picking him. And I just, I'm the hipster and I'm like, well, I can't even play him anymore. But I actually think he is too strong. I think his ult is honestly the problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an easy way
his
to
ult is
initiate.
too good.
It's just a really, really good way to set up any team fight. It's such a low cooldown, so you can go for ganks, especially when Dota's really not super aggressive. I mean, he got a lot of buffs beside that. I mean, everybody probably agrees that Barret does need some sort of nerf, maybe even a slight rework. Hopefully he doesn't get reworked, but, I mean, you're going to have to deal with it until TI3 at the very least, and probably sometime after that, as the recent patch did just come through, as bottom lane Fear will get engaged upon Fogged. No detection, so Fear should be able to get away relatively easily, and we'll just get his mana restored. Meanwhile, AUI gonna be in mid-troll, sounds gonna pop. Here comes the Mana Flare, or the Mystic Flare, as AUI taking a bunch of damage, a couple more shots will spend the end of him, but unfortunately just not enough damage coming through Jeyo. Didn't have as much mana as he would have hoped, but I don't think that was the problem. AUI just a little bit too tanky with those strength
Bambo's
creds.
getting gone on. AUI's silence. There's going to be a turnaround. Has he got Mystic Flare? He doesn't. Puck's going to orb in, drop the ult. Bambo looks like he's going to go down. He'll go down. Jeyo will follow up. That's EG getting greedy right there.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they just underestimated the power of Strength Tread's Weaver, as he was able to sustain himself through the immense amount of damage, and the level of Earthshaker was clearly not high enough. Only level 5 could not drop off the Echo Slam. That would have definitely ensured the kill, so good rebel by Dignitas, snaking, getting some much needed experiences, gotten a little bit of gold to fuel his dagger rush. But on the other side of the equation, Barretter, 2,500 gold in the bank, has not yet secured his dagger, instead just continue to farm up. We'll probably get dagger and maybe get smoker to see, and then go in for the ganks.
Yeah, I think that he's going to go for Lifestealer. That seems like that'll be the case. I think they can blow him up.
Well, Bambo does hit Puck with the fissure, but won't be able to drive out AOI. The Dire does manage to get the last hit on the tower, as AOI for some reason time lapses. Not too sure why, I guess he took a bit of tower damage. He's getting very close to his Linked Sphere, so I mean, Demon won't be able to blink in with that lasso to secure the kill on AOI, but he has the dust. He is going to use the dust in the base to get himself back in lane a bit quicker. And Bambo going to get some farm. I actually like farming the Earthshaker and farming heroes like Sand King, because, I mean, the dagger, the damage on those ultimates definitely can't be underestimated.
It changes the hero completely once they have dagger. It really does. And AUI is going to get gone on. Oh, he runs a weird way. So well, dust. AUI hasn't got time lapse, but I think he'll be okay.
I think you're a little bit ahead of me.
I'll pause.
Alright, 12, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34.
Yeah, I got 10 seconds ahead. I don't understand how that works.
Well, AOI gonna get initiated on Dust, Mana Flare, or Mystic Flare, as AOI just gets absolutely decimated. Did not pick up his ultimate orb, something that AOI often does. I think he definitely had enough gold to secure it, but I gotta imagine he would have picked up. Meanwhile, Fear taking a lot of damage on the bottom lane. Demon does teleport in, as Fear was killed off. Demon gonna be in big trouble as well, as Puck gonna come in, snag Stream Cold, does not have the Illusory Orb, but Universe gonna keep up the pursuit onto Demon. Demon does end up dying, but Universe now out of rage, gonna take an Arcane Bolt right to the chin. Another one gonna fly right in with the Fissure, gonna secure the kill on Universe. Meanwhile, Visage kills off Keeper of the Light, as this game is turning into a very quick bloodbath. Overall, not too sure who that favored in the end. I guess EG slightly, because Skywrath and Earthshaker got a lot of experience.
I think at this point, if trades go even but towers don't go down, EG wins. Because if towers are up, EG is going to be able to extend the game long enough.
Poor Fear just teleported himself back to the bottom lane under a lot of pressure already. Might have to get himself the heck out of there as Bambo is swarmed up. He is revealed all the while. The Visage Familiar is flying overhead. Fear forced to doppelwalk, as Snaking getting very close to his dagger with these successful ganks. Going to take a Spirit Lance, but should be able to escape relatively easily. And you can best believe that Dignitas does have detection, as AOI actually finished the Magic one as well as the Ring of Quill rather than getting the Ultimate Orb, going for a more combat-oriented build rather than just farming it up.
Yeah, we see him maxing bugs, which is really his way of saying I want to fight.
Well, Jeyo slightly misplaced the Mystic Flare, as Lasso is going to come in. That Duration of Silence, I still think that's one of the best spells in the game. 6-second duration with a magically increase with such a short cooldown means you can just lock down a hero like Weaver for such a long duration. AOI definitely paying for his lack of vision in that aspect.
It's great against Snakes and Puck too. All three really of those heroes. If they get silenced, they have nothing. But if they're not silenced, they have like 85 escape mechanisms. So
Literally
Smoke
85.
gank infested in Puck.
Radiant's middle tower
Puck
is
not yet
under
at the
attack.
dagger, so they're gonna have to get a nice coil off. They are smoked up. They're gonna bypass an EG ward, and looks like they will try to go in for Bambo unless they wrap around for Fear. Does Snaking how many does he does, so Fear likely going to be the intended target as Fear is going to be on a lot of trouble. Here comes the coil, here comes the infest. Fear trying to get on out of there. Will he be able to TP out to safety? No, just a bit too much damage. As Phantom Hunter, that fast dash not helping out too much. Tranquil's not helping out either, as Fog does secure a kill on Keeper Light as well. So, as this game's shaping out, I just wanted to ask you for a quick second. Oh, AY gonna take a bunch of damage. Might end up dying. He will die to Jeyo. Really underestimating the power of Skywrath. As Puck gonna blink in with the orb. Jeyo taking a lot of damage. Jeyo will die, but Weaver for Skywrath very much worth it for EG in the end. But EG is probably gonna give up a tower. I was gonna ask you, Tranquil Boots this stage in the game. Is it very useful for Fear?
No, they don't help him at all.
I mean, he obviously got it early on to help against the trial pressure, but usually you disassemble it very early these days. To get
Well,
the
he
treads.
thought, what I'm pretty sure he thought what was going to happen was he was just going to keep farming, and Dignitas was also going to farm, and he was going to jungle. And you want them to jungle if you're playing PL, because they actually do help a lot. But at this point, he hasn't got enough money to break them. It's not a choice. He just can't do it yet. So if I was him, and he knows way more about carrying than me, but I think that I would break treads and then make a diffusal, because he is getting ganked a lot, and he's just barely dying. And we see that he isn't really going into stats. He's got like 1 rank, but he could have way more. So he isn't really that tanky at all. He doesn't have drums or bracer or anything, so...
Well, he is going to force the teleport most likely in the middle, and his AOI is continuing to farm up, trying to make his way back towards his ultimate orb, as we are going to see a teleport in by snaking. It does have the coil, but not going to use it. Simply knows that he does not have enough damage to kill off Fear by himself. So, EG got a tower push. Dignitas looking in a lot better position. Visage, level 8 with a point boost already, fogged with arcane boots. Seems like Dignitas supports are getting pretty high leveled. Meanwhile, EG supports, I mean, whenever I see Beatus, he always just doesn't have anything. He's just completely devoted to wards, which is...
Yeah, he's always pretty broke. And Shaker has nothing. It's not like Shaker's halfway to dagger.
It's going to be up to Demon and Jeyo, and so far they've been putting in work, but they got to
The
input in
issue
more.
is every single hero on Dignitas, except for maybe Rubik, is a do-shit hero, but EG has a PL that isn't helping yet. Their ES and Coddle are like the opposite of do-shit heroes, so it's basically going to be on Demon and Jail, like you said.
I mean, they're putting in work. They're definitely carrying EG for now. Still, I guess they've got to do more to carry the team to victory. Jeyo.
He's going straight for defusal.
Sorry? Oh, he's going straight for
Oh, not Jail, Fear, sorry, yeah. Fear's going straight for defusal.
So, I guess just wants to get a bit more attack speed. I mean, obviously a bit more damage as well, rather than disassembling the Tranquils or getting treads or even a Vit booster. So I guess he's just saying, I guess in this position, we have the people of the turtle. I mean, if I go defensive, then I won't be strong for a long time. So you can see where Fear is coming from. His smoke gank gonna be popped by EG. They're gonna immediately spy AUI. AUI gonna definitely die. A Snake is gonna blink in with a huge coil, but just look at the damage. Oh my god, AUI, I feel for you, man. That was a lot of damage coming your way.
That's brutal. And the thing is, now that Demon's got his Force Staff, a lot of times you think, oh, when Weaver gets Lincolns, you can't bat ult them anymore. And you can. What you do is you blink in, you Force Staff them so they don't actually go anywhere, but it breaks the Lincolns, and then you grab them. It's pretty easy. So that combo will continue throughout the game, even if he gets the Lincolns up.
And even then, I'm pretty sure, since Arcane Bolt is a single target spell with such a low cooldown, if Skywrath Mage is ganking with the Barrow, which I think he probably will be because Barrow doesn't have enough damage to solo kill Weaver, then you can just pop an Arcane Bolt, break the Lincolns, and has such a long range that can pop it pretty much for free. I don't know if it... Well, Fear...
Yeah, I think that's tricky, though, because it's hard to get him range without him running.
Well, Fear went all out for that tier 1 on top, ended up dying, and the tower actually got denied, so... Some uncharacteristic greed. Fear, not really, in my eyes, an exceptionally greedy player, but definitely cost him in that instance.
It could be Universe punishing him in a way that other players wouldn't. I think Universe is... In my opinion, he's the best Nyx player. He's a really, really aggressive player, and he always knows like exactly the limits of what his heroes can and can't do. So a lot of times he'll punish people that in cases where most other pro players wouldn't punish you.
Well, way too sexy, gonna get snagged. I mean, the range of initiation from heroes like Barrett and Skywrath and Bambo is just so immense that Dignitas, they can't really show themselves on the map at all. Otherwise, when Barrett's lasso is up, he's gonna go in for a gank. And with the fissure coming in, with the range of Arcane Bolt, which is phenomenal, I think. Well, Concussive Shot has a pretty ridiculous range. Arcane Bolt, yeah, a relatively decent range as well. I mean, Dignitas really have to be grouped up together at all times. And AUI has definitely been feeling the pinch, has only now picked up the Ultimate despite Dignitas getting pretty much 4 towers.
Wait, you said Concussive Shot breaks Lincolns? The slow?
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said it did, and I was confused. Because I wouldn't think it does. And wow, that was fast.
I didn't even see that happen. Rubik just picks up a double kill out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Dire's middle tower
Ouch.
is under attack.
And they just got instantly blown up with Pocket and Rubik. Rubik's Fissure and Arcane Bolt, or whatever it's called. Get the last hit. Fade Bolt.
Well, I mean, at the very least for EG, they only lost 2 supports, but Dignitas is going to group up pushing the bottom lane. They know Fear still not ready to fight, as not even finished his Diffuse Blade. We'll have it up in about
Dire's
700
middle
gold.
tower is under
Demon on
attack.
Dignitas going to push in on the bottom lane. Everybody on the side of EG has respawned, so I think they will defend this tower. They don't have the glyph. Snaking has an infest bomb, so EG going to have to watch their positioning very carefully.
Uh-oh. Beatus might be in trouble.
Well, Fissure going to cover Beatus' retreat for now, as Snaking will just use the orb. They're going to get the tower at the very least, as
Radiant's bottom tower is under
looks like
attack.
Skywrath was able to secure a tower himself in the middle lane, so I guess that's something for EG, but now EG is starting to run out of map control, and with the Lifesteal and Weaver and Puck, I mean, Dignitas have some range on their side as well.
The trick is it's going to be really hard to break the tier 3. PL spams you back pretty well, right? That's pretty straightforward. But Shaker and Coddle are really good at keeping waves off the tower, and if anybody ever pushes up just a little bit, Batrider will bring them into the base. So Dignitas might be able to outfarm EG, but at some point they're going to have to just have a head-on fight, and EG are absolutely, like, completely outclassing Dignitas and how fights on tier 3 are going to work. Because if you want to try to take out down a tier 3, you gotta, mid lane.
Well, Demon Spy is way too sexy with his little eye, unable to pop the Force Staff, but doesn't matter because Mana Flare or Mystic Fire are gonna fly in, gonna get the kill on the Visage, and that is gonna prevent some more aggression. Dignitas probably won't be able to take Roshan on the back of that. It's way too sexy, actually rushing a straight up Axe rather than going for something like a Medallion. You know, Lifesteal are gonna go for an SNY or a Halberd. Probably an SNY in this game, I've gotta
SNY.
imagine. I mean,
There's no reason to get Halberd, because Halberding PL doesn't do anything.
I mean, you gotta get that SNY advantage, right?
Exactly. I like the way you think. It's the best item in the game.
I mean, you are such a fucking Dota hipster. Jesus Christ.
Well, it's got, in all seriousness though, I think it's really, really good in pubs on melee semi-carries.
That is a glowing review coming from SK.
Yeah.
I mean,
Every
SK's
melee
name in
semi-carry needs
Dota
it.
2 is the SNY advantage, so...
Anyway, Batrider's probably gonna go for a BKB. He's not that close to it. Skywrath, I would guess BKB. Shaker got Arcane Boots, which, I don't know. I think he could have just rushed the dagger, but I guess he wanted the Arcane Boots. And Coddle has nothing. So this is really on Fear at this point.
I mean,
He hasn't even got 1,000 HP. This is gonna be hard.
I mean, the unfortunate thing for Jeyo is, even though he's been playing pretty well, 7-3-2, with a lot of contribution in these fights, he hasn't been able to farm. He's just been going for ganks, so he only has 65 CS, and I mean, 4-star Arcane Boots, Skywrath, I feel like, doesn't really need that many items, but he does need to tank up, as the coil by Snaking gonna completely whiff. A bit of a misplay, but Demon was able to 4-stab himself to his safety. I don't think Dignitas would have been able to follow up regardless. You know, Snaking gonna go for the Hex, has the Centaurs. AOI finished the Lincolns. Not too sure what he's gonna go for next. Maybe a Manta. Probably Manta, I've gotta imagine.
Well, Manta
Dire's
beats the
top
split,
tower is
or
under attack.
Manta splits the silence, so that's something, but I think a bigger damage item might be appropriate. I don't know.
Well, Fear finished Diffusal. We'll see what he decides to go for. A lot of players like getting that Diffusal too. A lot of players like getting the VIP booster and then going into straight damage. But Fear looks like he's not sure what to get just yet, as he's going to get him recalled to the bottom lane into a bit of a safe position. And now EG just proving to be very annoying. Demon actually picked up the Boots of Travel, as he's just going to be able to split
Dire's
push
bottom
and go
tower
for
is under attack.
easier ganks if he does find the opportunity. And of course, that increased move speed, helping out Batrider by a pretty solid amount.
Dire's bottom tower
Well, the
has
biggest thing is,
fallen.
if 2 people try to gank your farming PL, or maybe even 3 people, you TP in to help him, and all of a sudden, it's a huge turnaround. That's one of the really good reasons to get BOT on bat, and he's going to go for AOI.
Well, Dust just a little bit outside of range, but just simply does not care. as Fairlands broke the Lincolns. AY just, I think, survived around maybe 50 HP. He just barely got that time lapse off. As a bit of a failed gank by EG, but hey, 70-second cooldown lasso. Demon will try again pretty soon, but Jeyo gonna be spotted out. He will most certainly perish as he's gonna force staff himself away. Jeyo, will he actually be able to escape? What a fissure by Sexy Bambo. Brilliantly placed, and Jeyo will be able to escape indeed, but AUI is on the hunt. The Storm is tracking Bambo's movement as AUI is gonna chase into the EG base as the tier 2 is not there to protect EG, but no follow-up initiation by Dignitas as they have already expended the coil. But still, EG getting away, bit lucky. Really nice place fissure by Bambo. So overall, that engagement was neutral. I mean, not much more could be said.
Yeah, a whole lot of stuff happened, but in the end, really nothing came out of it. So I think Fear's gonna go and split push top. If he split pushes well enough, it's really gonna be hard to kill him. They need to commit at least 2 people, probably 3 if they want to kill him. And if he's split pushing top and they have to send 3 people up there, even if they get him, they can't do anything off of that. They can't progress to breaking the base. They've already gotten, or no, they haven't actually. They backed out. But the point is, even if they kill him 10 times, well, not 10 times in a row, but a couple times, the game's still getting longer, and he's still getting items, and he's actually going to go for Manta Style first, which I like because he can break the puck silence, which is, I think, pretty big.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge factor. Meanwhile, Bambo is getting very close to the dagger, and again, like you mentioned earlier, dagger on Shaker is so crucial, especially when Dignitas is trying to break the base. Is Demon going to fly overhead? Dignitas going for Roshan, just simply don't have enough damage to kill it off too quick. Is Demon actually going to fly overhead? Has complete vision as Jeyo going to come in with a couple of concussive shots. Seems like Dignitas is going to continue with their endeavors to pick off the Roshan. Beatis has more Sphere form to potentially recall Fear, as Dignitas are going to continue with this engagement. Universe taking on edge, will be able to dodge the Illuminate with the Rage, as the Filmware is still going to work. Universe actually very low HP, doesn't have the Rage back online just yet, and EG looks like they're going to give up this engagement for now. Going to give it to Roshan. They managed to kill off a tier 2 at the very least, and I think they recognize that Shaker is getting very close to his dagger, so did not want to lose it in that engagement. And
I'm a little bit disappointed in Demon for not trying to steal, but you know, they've talked about trying to combat the EG throws, and that's it. Because if he goes in that situation and gets Aegis, it's not like a good thing to deny Aegis. It's not a big thing if he's successful, but if he's unsuccessful, they might get raxed. So I think that was a smart play, even though it wasn't the play I wanted to see.
Well, Bambo now has his dagger, and now Echo Slam is going to become a factor. Keep in mind, Echo Slam does go through magical immunity. Only the damage from the heroes, not the damage from the creeps. But it is one of the few ultimate spells that does damage through BKB and magical immunity. So Leicester is not going to be immune to that. And I mean, Dignitas, they don't have anything like a mech or a pipe. It seems like a lot of teams these days are straying away from mechs. What's the deal with that?
Well, it's a tri-lane. With a hard 3-1-1, and you don't have supports really getting a lot, it's really hard to get a mech out on time. So Visage could have gone for it. I don't know why they prioritized Aghanims over the mech this time, but in most cases, both supports just don't have enough stuff to get to mech.
Yeah, but remember when they used to put off lanes? Well, I guess Barra's not a mech carrier, neither is Weaver. But off lanes, mid lanes sometimes, if it was Beastmaster. I don't know, just been seeing a lot less mechs these days.
Well, yeah. I think they still do it if there's those kind of off lanes, but a lot of times off lanes now are more the farming off lanes. Furion doesn't do it anymore because people just like to be greedy on him, but Darkseer still does it. Like, but most of the time we see stuff like Syllabary even. He's not a mech carrier. They're putting carriers in the offlane.
Oh, Demon gonna look to initiate as he couldn't get the lasso off. Silence by snaking is gonna end the life of Demon. He does not have buyback as he did just recently pick up the Oracle Club, so EG gonna likely forfeit this tier 2. They're definitely gonna defend the tier 3. They definitely can defend the tier 3 unless Visage is strong with this familiar micro. And he is way too sexy. He is gonna have to do that if he wants to prevent Earthshaker from blinking in with an Echo. And there's a lot of AoE damage on the side of EG that could potentially make Dignitas' life very difficult, but Dignitas should be able to clear off the tier 2 regardless.
Yeah, the tier 2's already gone. That's not the issue, but I don't even think they're going to try for the tier 3. And Fear is farming. Like, right now Dignitas, no one on Dignitas is farming, and Fear is. He's got his Manta Style. He's probably just going to save for buyback. But, yeah, he's forcing TPs back, and he's probably just going to go mid and farm now. Or actually, no, he might go to the jungle.
Well, AOI gonna come in. AOI, you can see those deaths in the early stages of the game has really set him back quite a bit. He did have sensational farm, But Weaver, since he's grouped up with his team and is not really necessarily a flash farmer, is having trouble keeping up in terms of CS, only with the Liquid Sphere. Probably going to make his way towards either an MKB or a Manta. I mean, those could both be viable options in this scenario. Manta, I still think is going to be a strong choice, although MKB will give you a bit more damage. So I don't know. It's difficult for Dignitas to say the least. They need to get Demon and the Shaker, or Demon and the Coddle, and I don't know if EG will necessarily put them in that position.
Yeah. I'm not quite sure how to phrase this, but the way EG can position their heroes is going to make it really, really hard for them, Dignitas, to go on them. Because Puck wants people grouped up in the same position, and Demon's just scouting stuff out with Firefly, but I don't think he's going to go. Maybe?
Well, he looked for a lasso, but Fogged was able to escape, as was Snaking. But you can see, I mean, EG have wards, Dignitas, only one ward because Demon did just secure himself a gem. So now Dignitas is going to have a bit more of a difficult time, and those boots of travel could come in useful very soon if Demon does want to go in for a gank. But Snaking has Infest, maybe looking to perhaps initiate onto Fear, but Fear is such a difficult target to bring down, especially when he's playing so defensively and just being recalled all the time.
Well, they also know that if they ever go on him, Batrider can be there in an instant, which is... We haven't seen these BOT do anything yet. They haven't actually... He hasn't even used them, I think. But what they have the advantage of doing is by making... He makes Dignitas scared to go on PL. So, while they don't seem like a good investment, I would say that they definitely are this game.
Mind game, son.
Yeah, something like that. Well, it's like the IO effect. Even when you're not teleporting on people, you're still controlling where people can be on the map. It's sort of like that.
Well, Dignitas gonna go in raw. No words of EG actually spot out the movement. Dignitas, do they themselves have a gem? No, it doesn't look like they do. Snaking, not really farming that well. I think Dignitas should just farm Snaking and at least try to get the Hex online. I'm not too sure why they're not farming up Snaking. I mean, he's had this ultimate work for an eternity.
Dignitas isn't making use of their own jungle or either side lane. They're only really farming one lane at a time and sort of the enemy's jungle. Whereas I think... But yeah, this is the Batrider thing, because if they send one person to farm top against PL, you're going to die to Batrider. So... it's tricky. I don't see them getting a lot of farm at this point in the game. They don't have any like flash farmers, and they can't solo farm in the safe lane, so...
Well, Dignitas still have a gold lead as well as an experience lead, although we do know, I mean, in a teamfight scenario, EG with the Echo Slam as well as the lasso should theoretically have advantage. Visage Familiars do a lot of work, can stun people in place for a long time, and nobody on save EG yet has a BKB. Skywrath Mage looking like he will work his way towards that item very, very soon, in about 1k gold. I mean, AOI just continue to farm up. Still no items just yet, but the Aegis is going to time out relatively soon. So, looks like Dignitas and the Aegis now are going to accomplish too much. And what's their game plan? What are they going to wait for?
I don't know. I think they're waiting on Hex and Weaver's item. Yeah, Sneaking's got Hex and like 30 gold. I don't know, this is tricky. It's so hard for them to end the game against this Shaker Coddle combo.
Yep, and, well, Snaking does have the Hex. He sold his bottle to secure it. Not really making the best usage of the bottle now. But EG just continue to get vision. You can see Dignitas' wards have really been cut off because of that gem on Batrider. And I mean, yeah, I mean, it's sort of similar to the Wisp or even the Pudge effect in the early game. You're always sort of forced to group up because it's Batrider with the travels, and the cooldown just means you can use it whenever you want. Demon not yet level 16. Gonna work his way towards the BKB Bambo, not yet level 9, so it doesn't have that much more upgraded version of that Echo Slam, but Fear still farming up 5.6k gold in the bank. My god, this PL. When he actually starts fighting, he's gonna need a presence to reckon with.
Yeah, in the past 15 minutes or so, he's been farming at double the rate of Weaver, which is a big deal.
Well, the Illusion's gonna scout out Dignitas. Dignitas are smoked up, but way too sexy is not himself smoked up. The Familiars are smoked up, but they're gonna reveal themselves. And Dignitas, I guess they sort of have to wait for the next rush if they want to actually go in.
I guess they do. And they're still trying to find people, and EG is just running and hiding. And this is so frustrating if you're Dignitas, because you pick a lineup. Look at Dignitas' heroes. They all kill stuff. You got a bunch of semi-carries. It just looks like a fun lineup to play, because you'll just be killing stuff all game, and you try to amass a huge advantage off of that and win. But EG is dodging fights so hard. They're split pushing around the map. They got BOT, they got Coddle, they got PL is always where Dignitas isn't. And it's an issue because Dignitas really wants to fight and EG is running. This is Rat Dota at its finest. And again, I say that not in a disparaging way, but he's just doing exactly what they need to do, which is being a coward and running away. And it's what's going to win them the game.
Well, Bambo gonna blink away to safety is now level, and Weaver actually picked up the Desolator to kill off Roshan faster, but also more important to break the base. And it's a bit cheaper in terms of damage, and I guess he wants to have the damage online a bit sooner. Still, I'm wondering. Oh, Fear's gonna pick up a straight up Butterfly. Knows he can farm up buyback before Roshan, although that might be a bit too ambitious. But
Dire's
Butterfly
bottom
on
tower
Fear
is
gonna
under
negate a lot of
attack.
Desolator damage as well as a lot of lifesteal damage. A pretty strong item choice in my opinion for Phantom Lancer in this game.
Yeah. I can't really comment on whether it's better or not than Hort, because if Fear thinks it is, I'm going to guess that it is. But I think...
They are going to shoot out to AUI. How they dispel it? The Mystic Flare going to be popped yet again, as there's simply not enough damage. Snaking will pop with the Dream Claw onto Demon. Demon just going to Firefly overhead. Looks like, I think the Firefly ran out, which is why he went down on the cliff. He is going to drop the gem. The question is, did Dignitas know about it? The gem is going to remain out of sight for a bit. I was actually wondering, I think they did break the link-ins with one of Skywrath's spells. Maybe with his own force staff?
It's
I
not the
don't know.
concussive shot. I'm pretty sure it isn't, because I saw it used before. I'm like 80% sure that it doesn't break it, because it doesn't seem like it would, because it's not a single target, you know? So...
Well, it's sort of a single target, but it's not
But
a
it's
single target.
homing. It's not like a point and click, you know? I don't know. To the Dota 2 wiki.
I mean, that's not really that helpful as Bambo is going to look on the high ground, perhaps looking for an opening. I mean, the gem is still there in the forest, interestingly enough. The question is if EG want to go for it, which obviously they can't do just yet. But EG going to defend, Dignitas going to slow siege it for now. Roshan is going to be spawning relatively soon. I don't know if Dignitas can push this. Fear is going to be making his presence felt on the top lane. And I think Dignitas should just go in for Rosh, but Rosh has just not yet respawned quickly enough as Demon, he is going to go for the gem, saying, screw this noise, I have Coddle. Gonna get myself recalled. He picks up the gem after all. Oh, they're gonna find Beatus. He's hexed up as Mystic Flare gonna be dropped on the Snaking. Snaking gonna get killed off by Jeyo, giving up a huge streak as Snaking also forfeited his own gem. AUI gonna pick it up for himself. AUI was able to do a bit of damage, but now Bambo trying to get in position to get off an Echo Slam, gonna chain the stuns off. AUI silenced is gonna be in a bit of trouble, but should be okay as there's just simply not enough damage. And as I said, they won't be okay because Fear is playing PL.
Hashtag Rat Dota.
No glyph. Why no glyph?
I think they must have used it on the bot tower, maybe? I'm not sure.
No, it was up.
Mid lane, Bambo's dead.
Well, Bambo's dead. Fear just going to continue his pressure on the base. And EG just really preventing Dignitas from TPing away safely as AI trying to scurry on out of there. Demon trying to get in position for her last. Is AI going to be in bit trouble? The Mystic Flare going to be dropped yet again. Fear actually taking this time to back off right now. Universe was missing on the map, so he decided that was the appropriate moment to retreat. But Dignitas now in a lot of trouble. Dignitas had the glyph. Maybe they just had the TPs cancelled?
I don't know. Maybe they didn't even know what was happening because they were so focused on their fight. I know that's happened before to pro teams. I don't know.
I think looks like Weaver tried to teleport and got it cancelled. Rubik had no TP,
Yeah.
so May got cancelled. Lifestealer.
Well, Shaker canceled, but he blinked and did his little enchant thing.
So good recognition of EG as
I guess that's why he went for the butterfly, right? So he can split push faster. Because he wasn't even in fights, so butterfly makes sense if he wants to take down that Rax fast.
well, to say it bluntly, Dignitas are a shit hole. Very, very big.
They got
deficit.
some problems. Yep. So BKB up on Jeyo, BKB up on Batrider. Shaker might go for Veil, although I'm guessing Skywrath will actually pick that up, even though it seems kind of weird. Coddle, Jesus Christ, how does he go the entire game with Tranquil Boots on every hero? He does it on every hero. I mean,
It is Dota.
the way EG does it is their 5 hero gets everything, and their 4 hero might carry Dust, maybe. So we're gonna see Dignitas going for Roshan, and that's not gonna help.
Well, they've got to try.
Uh-oh, Demon.
I mean, what
He's
other
gonna
choice
do
do
it.
they have
He's gonna do
as Demon gonna Firefly overhead? Does not
He
yet have
drops
vision
his
of
bottle, he's ready to go.
Oh yes, be careful. He's gonna blink back to safety as he is gonna escape in the end.
Hashtag Rat Dota. No, but again, it would have been stupid for him to try to steal the Aegis, because Aegis on Dignitas doesn't do anything, and if Demon dies, that's big. So,
Well, Fear, another 6.4k gold in the bank and 600 GPM on a PL. Not really as fast a farmer as Anti-Mage or Alchemist, but still having a ridiculously good time farming it up. We'll have the heart finished relatively soon, probably waiting for a bit of extra gold. No, looks like he is going to pick it up on the curve and go straight to the secret shop.
He's 40 minutes in the game and hasn't used a single defusal charge. He's still on defusal 1 with 8 charges. That's something. When was the last time you saw him at a fight?
Never. Bottom lane,
wow.
laning phase, team fight.
And we were farmed 1k gold in a space where PL farmed 7k. That's the thing that happened.
That is quite a bit of gold. I'm not gonna lie, as Fear just continue to farm up, and Visage picked up a Vlad's. Dignitas gonna have to go in for an all-in push. They literally have no other options at this stage.
It won't work. They can't do it. They need to get ganks first. If they try to do that, PL will take the racks. They can't all-in push. It won't work. They'll lose racks before.
Well, Dignitas running out of options. I mean,
Well, look, they're smoke anchoring. This is what they should do. They try to get a pick. If they get a pick, maybe even 2 if they're lucky, then they can push. But they gotta go on him. Oh, they didn't do it. And that's their advantage because now they know that Dignitas was smoked. So that's that advantage gone.
well, Universe has a Demon Edge, probably gonna make his way towards the MKB to break through that evasion on Fear. Fear just going to work with the illusions on this tower. I mean, 5% illusion reduction in terms of damages. Demon gonna blink himself in, is hexed up, has a haste rune, so seemingly does not care. Phantom wants illusions enough to kill off the tower with relative ease. And AY has the Aegis, but still has to run the heck away from EG. Barrett gonna come in. Did use the Force Staff, but didn't devote a lasso.
Lasso him because he didn't have Firefly anymore, and you can't drag him over the trees and you can't force him through the trees. So that's a really fast decision that he made, and I think it's a pretty good one.
Well, EG still continuing to farm. Van Wentz has the heart. Still has Tranquil Boots. I mean, why not?
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter. If no one's fighting him, why upgrade boots when you can go for a 6k item, you know?
Hold on. It's 40 minutes in the game. Beatus is about to get an item.
Uh-oh. Is that a bracer?
Staff of Wizardry, bitch!
Yeah. Just treating himself.
I mean, you know, Cupid Light has a staff. I mean, I think that is actually a Staff of Wizardry that Cupid Light is holding.
Yeah. In the most technical sense, you would be right. The guy's a wizard, it's a staff, so.
I'm always right, except when I'm wrong. Then I'm not right. I mean,
when I'm wrong, and I know I'm wrong. That's it, when I know that I'm right. Or at least have to protest it the loudest. You know, it's the really dumb people at Yamiga Gulak. Every time they talk to you, they manage to make themselves sound like, oh, well, I'm smart, so I know this. It's when you protest, that's when it's obvious.
shut up, I am smart!
Exactly. So.
No, that's what I was saying. I wasn't trying to imitate. God, you're
know.
such a douche, man.
I actually wanted to point out, Skywrath 8-3. I did not think that this would happen this game. I thought that he would feed. But he's just positioned really well.
Well, Demon gonna get orbed. He will be located. Demon gonna be in a lot of trouble. The question is, do EG actually want to fight? They definitely can, but Jeyo gonna pop the BK, running around in circles, trying to avoid it. Beat is gonna get killed off. Fear says, screw fighting. Gonna hit buildings.
Yeah, and
What
he's
a
just
guy.
gonna run, and they have to chase him. It's ridiculous.
What a guy. What a guy Fear is. Bambo gonna actually teleport away to safety. EG escape with 2 casualties.
At least those things have built-in regen. The racks, that is. I think Tier 3 should have built-in regen too, but that's just me.
Yeah, that is just you.
It stops split push. It makes split push less of an attractive thing to do, and it means that you actually have to fight on the Tier 3.
That is a good point.
But anyway.
Actually, don't the range barracks have like 15 HP regen per second if they have less?
I don't know about range, but the melee one's healing at 2.6.
I know, but I thought there was like a bug in Dota 2 where the range barracks don't heal as fast sometimes. I don't know. It could just be me.
I don't know.
Stupid.
I don't know. Could be either way.
Either way, Dignitas are screwed.
Yeah, they got some pretty serious issues. And this is like I said, if they try to take just a straight up team fight, it's really hard because Batrider can pick off anyone and just start the fight that way. So if they try to smoke gank, it's going to be pretty obvious because their lanes are pushing in, and they can't go for an all-in suicide push because Fear will take the racks. So I don't know what options they have left at this point.
I mean, Barrett has more CS than a Lifestealer by 31. That's a lot of
Yeah,
CS.
it's because they haven't been farming. They were just 5-manning down towers, but it was taking them way too long because Coddle was just keeping them off the towers. And sure, like, they were getting kills, and they were eventually getting the towers, but in the meantime, Fear farmed 2k gold in the space of the time it took Dignitas to take a tower, so...
Well, Aegis is going to time out relatively soon. I think Dignitas, they won't be able to make it to the million until before the Aegis times out. They're going to have to go back and defend because, I mean, sure, Aegis isn't that useful on Dignitas, but they definitely want to have that extra bit of security to actually give them, you know, some boost in terms of confidence. As
I don't think
Bambo-
Aegis will help them at this point, and I think they know it.
I mean, but sure, it gives them, like, you know, a bit of a security
Well-
blanket, I guess.
The issue is, whoever they put it on can still get blown up instantly and killed, and then they have to fight the fight normally. And they know that it won't help, and Cheese won't do anything. Wow, that's the first time I've ever seen that. Fear picks up an AC.
ACPL, just to break down buildings, because he's
Well-
a non-violent person.
That's part of it, but the other part of it is the only way he dies is if Weaver just sits on him for like 10 seconds straight. And against Weaver and Nakes, you already got evasion, which doesn't work against Nakes, but it works against Weaver, and you already got a ton of armor from the Agi, and now you're going to get even more armor from the AC. And Weaver's got that armor pierce thing going on with the Deso Bogs, so I think it's a pretty smart choice. Again, not what I would have done, but it's better than I would have done, because now that I think about it, it makes more sense.
But he has max inventory, still has Tranquil Boots, just saying.
No big deal.
Well, I mean, Jeyo has the Veil of Bambo Ghost Scepter, so
Top.
there goes any presence of mine as there will be initiation. Bambo gonna blink in with an Echo Slam, gonna likely force a buyback from Leicester, who doesn't have buyback.
That's game.
Yep.
Game's over.
I mean, EG probably gonna recognize this, recognizing that Universe is not immune
Yep,
to
there we
buyback.
go. They just GG'd out right there.
Well, I mean, that was a pretty anticlimactic end, all things considered. But this was, I mean, EG playing.
Really
Yeah.
well. That's as good as they could have played that game.
Radiant victory.
Yeah, I mean, Jeyo and Demon held the fort. Fear got farmed. Fear pushed. EG just, you know.
And Bambo fed. No, but actually, though, he had some really, really good fissures, and he kept people off the towers. So even though the score's 0-5, I think that he really did his job. So
Well, Dignitas, I mean, I guess it was just the execution or their draft was just really not a factor. I mean, I don't think they really played bad because they didn't really have to make necessarily too many plays. But thanks for watching Game 1. We'll be back with Game 2 relatively soon. EG up 1-0, and we'll see you in a bit.